On the news, troops kill 16 ISWAP fighters in Borno. Akwa Ibom governor orders appointees to dump PDP for APC or resign. And IPOB sit-at-home orders becoming ineffective, says Ribadu. We're glad to have you join News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Joy Uchejem. Troops of the Nigerian Army under Operation Hadinkai reportedly repelled a coordinated attack by Islamic State West Africa Province ISWAP and Boko Haram terrorists on Damboa town in Borno State. The troops were backed by indirect fire and air interdiction from Air Components Command, with gunfight lasting over 2 hours. According to a statement on Friday by the Army, at about 1 a.m. on May 23, the troops sighted the terrorists in Damboa and immediately engaged them in a gun duel. The statement said the operation resulted in the death of at least 16 of the terrorists. And now the allegation that some Nigerian politicians and military personnel are among those leaking information to Boko Haram made by Governor of Borno State, Babagana Zulum, has raised concerns among top security experts in the country. The governor also criticized the lack of equipment for the military and accused insurgents of having a superior technological advantage. Disagreeing with the governor's assertion in an exclusive with TV360 Nigeria, a former director of defense information in the country, retired Major General Chris Olukolede, said such statements are capable of downplaying the government's efforts against insurgency in Nigeria. He warned that Governor Zulum's remarks can also have a negative impact on operational efficiency and public confidence in the nation's armed forces.
Certainly, I will be, very incorrect if I wholesale, in a wholesale fashion, just dismiss that as untrue. Indeed, there are such indications, but the system knows how to deal with it. And indeed, that should not, where I agree with His Excellency that no patriot should be happy at such tendencies. But even if the reality is there, management of it so that it does not end up compounding our national security issues is what I think we should consider. And if we even look at previous instances, we have seen a lot of trial of personnel who were found in this tendency. The system does not condone it, and it is not proper to present a situation where it appears that the system is enjoying it. No, it's not enjoying it. And I'm glad you also said politicians. Maybe you can deal with fellow politicians. They know how to communicate to themselves, but not to just do a wholesale situation to rubbish ongoing, And if you have very clear information in that respect, like he promised to deal ruthlessly, welcome. But if you have such, vital information about the military system, you should engage where it is proper with appropriate authorities.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has said that the growing popularity of the All Progressives Congress (APC) across the country is a reflection of its achievement in less than 2 years in office. He, however, assured Nigerians that the country will not slip into a one-party state. The president made this known at the APC Renewed Hope Agenda Summit held at the State House Conference Center in Abuja. The summit brought together key figures within the party, including the National Working Committee, members of the National Assembly, and governors from the Progressives Governors Forum. TV360's correspondent Victoria Kande completes this report.
The APC Renewed Hope Agenda Summit served as a forum for party stakeholders to assess progress made under the current administration, address national challenges and strategize ahead of the 2027 general elections. One of the highlights of the event was the unanimous endorsement of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by all 22 APC governors as the party's sole presidential candidate for the 2027 elections, in a major show of solidarity and confidence in his leadership. In his remarks, President Tinubu thanked the party leadership and members of the National Assembly for their continued support.
There are so many things coming that would be great, and you'll be proud of belonging to this party. It's the party of your choice. Broom is the symbol. Sweep the dust away. Be hopeful. Renew your hope. Embrace your children. Embrace life the way it is. Nigeria will be great. We are very happy. I thank all of you for the endorsement.
The president also addressed the recent wave of defections from other political parties into the APC, noting that such movements reflect the democratic right of Nigerians to associate freely and choose their political affiliations.
You don't blame a people bailing out of a sinking ship when they have no life jacket. I'm glad of what we have, and I'm expecting more to come. That is the game. We are in a constitutional democracy. Don't forget the freedom of movement and the freedom of association.
Also speaking at the event, the APC's national chairman Abdullahi Ganduje stated that under President Tinubu's leadership, the APC has undergone significant reforms, become more energized and continues to grow across the country. He urged party members to remain vigilant against internal sabotage and to stay focused on the larger goal of national development.
The journey so far is far from over. We must not become unworried. Now is the time to deepen our grassroots mobilization, embrace party discipline, and support the president's agenda with solid loyalty. Let us resist external sabotage and remain focused. Let us engage our communities, listen to the people, and build a political structure that will endure beyond election cycles.
Significant gains have been recorded in addressing Nigeria's complex security landscape since May 2023. May 29, 2023. We have enhanced security operations, better intelligence gathering, and targeted interventions have been stabilizing key hotspots and reducing casualties.
Ganduje further called on members to recommit to the founding ideals of the party and to work collectively towards building a stronger and more united Nigeria. Victoria Akonde, TV260 News, Lagos.
And still on politics, the Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno has directed all commissioners and political appointees in his cabinet to either defect with him to the All Progressives Congress APC or resign from their positions. The directive was reportedly issued during an ongoing State Executive Council meeting, where the governor openly confirmed his decision to leave the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the APC. He explained that his decision to align with the APC was driven by his admiration for the leadership style of President Bola Tinubu, adding that he wants to work more closely with the Nigerian government. The governor issued a stern warning to his appointees, saying he has nothing to negotiate with anyone unwilling to follow his political direction. Now joining us to discuss this further is political affairs analyst Jide Ojo. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Now, President Tinubu previously stated that his administration is not forcing anyone to defect to the APC. However, we now see Governor Umo Eno instructing his commissioners and appointees to either defect with him or resign. Now, what are your thoughts on this development?
Okay, so Joy, good evening, Nigerians. I think we need to understand the context in which Governor Umo Eno is talking. You cannot have a cabinet of different political parties. If you wanted to have multicolor or multi-party cabinet, he will have appointed commissioners from opposition party. As he said, because I've watched the clip, as he said in that clip, he said loyalty in politics is 100%. You cannot be a commissioner or SA or SSA under a governor and you belong to another party. And I think it's right. It's very much unlike what happened in Delta about a month ago, where the governor of Delta compelled all the elective and appointive members of the PDP to dissolve into APC. What Eno has said is that if you are my appointee, you cannot be in a different party and be working with me. He said he is not compelling anybody to join him in APC, but they should know that if they are not joining him in APC, then they should resign. They have the option of resigning. And I will do same. I have to be sincere with you. You cannot be working with enemy within. I will do same. Loyalty should be 100%. He is not saying that all the senators, all the House of Reps members, all the State Assembly members should join him in APC. He only said his appointees, and the appointees and aides of the governor are inclusive of the commissioners, director generals of ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as his SSA. So if he limits it to those ones, it is understandable. But where he now says, if you are elected or if you belong to any other political party as an elected representative of the people, that you must also join it, that's where it will be going ultra-biased. That's why we can condemn him and say, why do you want to do that? He even said that he's not dissolving PDP into APC, that he still will want PDP to exist, that they have had their congresses, that their chieftains can remain in PDP, but for him and his cabinet, he wants to move to the party at the center, which is within his political right. However, it is unhealthy for our democracy to continue to have people defecting, because the reasons he gave was not sufficiently justifiable. You said there is crisis in your party, the issue of national secretary. Yes, that is true. But the party is about to have its national executive committee meeting next week, and then has scheduled a new convention for August. And Pastor Omoeno was in Ibadan when that decision was taken in April. Why can't he foster and midwife a resolution of whatever crisis is going on within the PDP? More so, as they have set up a committee to reconcile all the warring factions, headed by former president of the Senate, Bukola Saraki. So he should have allowed Bukola Saraki's reconciliation committee to do its work and also be part of that resolution of conflict, because the APC that is moving into is not also without its own internal crisis.
Watching the events as they unfold, but this is much we can take due to time. Political affairs analyst Jide Ojo, thank you for sharing your thoughts as always. Now, in other stories, the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu has disclosed that the sit-at-home orders enforced by terrorist groups in the southeast are steadily losing their impact. Ribadu made these remarks during a presentation on the security achievements of President Bola Tinubu's administration at the All Progressives Congress National Summit. According to the NSA, the current administration inherited 5 major security challenges across the country: the Boko Haram insurgency, armed banditry in the northwest, secessionist agitations by the indigenous people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network in the southeast, and communal as well as herder-farmer conflicts in the north-central region.
Between October 2020 and June 2021, IPOB, ESN murderous attacks destroyed 164 police stations, killed 128 policemen, injured 144, destroyed 628 vehicles, carried out 3 prison breaks, including the Owerri facility where 1,841 inmates escaped, and attacked the Immigration Service headquarters in Umuahia. A welcome development is that the sit-at-home orders is becoming more and more ineffective. Key IPOB ESN figures capture and neutralize many in the battlefield. Over 50 police stations and many police forces are back in business. Attacks on security forces significantly reduced. Social and economic activities are normalizing. This can be testified by anyone who will visit the Southeast today. Thanks to the work you have done, Mr. President.
And now, as part of social intervention programs tagged Sanwo-Olu Listens, the Lagos state government has earmarked the sum of 1.651 billion naira for the vulnerable in the 2025 budget. At least 2.1 billion naira has been expended in the last 4 years on 8,690 beneficiaries. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu will commence the disbursement of the fund to the vulnerable during the Ileya celebration. This was disclosed by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Political, Legislative and Civic Engagements, Tajuddin Afolabi, during a press briefing to mark the 2nd year of the 2nd term of the state's Governor Sanwo-Olu held at Alausa in Ikeja.
Sanwo-Olu Listing Financial Assistance Program. What we do in this regard is to support the vulnerables with medical, rent, education, business aids. So far, we've been able to disburse 2.461 billion naira. We have spent 2.46 billion naira, being disbursed to 8,619 beneficiaries today, with ongoing intervention for new beneficiaries. Let me state that this figure, for clarity purpose, is just what we have done between this period to 2024. 2025 is not captured here. We have just been given the approval to expend another 1.6 billion.
It's now time for a short break, but still to come on News Now. Trump threatens tariffs on EU goods and Apple iPhones. Stay with us for details. Welcome back. Let's take you through some of our major stories. Now, troops of Operation Hadinkai have neutralized 16 fighters of the Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, and Boko Haram during a clearance operation in Damboa, Borno State, the Nigerian Army has disclosed. The Army revealed this in a brief statement issued on Friday. Now, we also told you that the Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno has directed all commissioners and political appointees in his cabinet to either defect with him to the All Progressives Congress (APC) or resign from their positions. The directive was reportedly issued during an ongoing State Executive Council meeting where the governor openly confirmed his decision to leave the PDP for the APC. And in case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download the mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's now time for business news, and Victoria Konde has the details. What's the latest, Victoria?
Thank you very much, Joy. Welcome to Business News. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has officially inaugurated the new board of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, charging its members to leverage their experience and expertise to contribute meaningfully to Nigeria's economic recovery. Following the inauguration ceremony held at the State House in Abuja on Thursday, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Bashir Ojulari, addressed State House correspondents saying that the President's economic reforms are already attracting foreign direct investment by sending strong positive signals to global partners.
Of the new NNPCL board, President Tinubu urged the appointees to align with the administration's broader economic agenda and intensify efforts to ramp up crude oil production. Speaking after the ceremony, the chairman of the NNPCL board, Hamadu Kida, reiterated commitment to entrenching sound corporate governance practices and enforcing global industrial standards at the National Oil Company. He assured that transparency and accountability will be central to the board's operations, particularly as the NNPCL intensify efforts to optimize its assets, including the long-awaited turnaround maintenance of its refineries.
On production, on our refineries, foreign direct investment, and also the future of the Nigerian oil and gas industry. They are all things that my board has already taken, again, I would say on board or put on the table, and we're working with the GCEO and his management to make sure we actualize the present, but also give the management an enabling environment in order to be able to sustain our long-term vision for the country. We will walk our talk. That's it. It's a promise we have made to Nigerians, and my members, my board is here, and they encourage me to tell the population that that is what we stand for.
Also speaking, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the NNPCL, Bashir Ojulari, revealed that crude oil output had risen from 1.5 million barrels per day to 1.7 million barrels per day in just 2 months. He says the country is now targeting 1.9 million barrels per day by year's end, a development seen as crucial to boost national revenue.
Our commitments, as per the mandate from Mr. President, if you look at it, is to increase production, not to reduce production, right? When we came in, within the first 1 month, production was already declining to up to about 1.5 million barrels per day. If you check today, we are back to about 1.7, and we're doing everything we need to do to continue to increase those production. So we don't necessarily agree with Woodmark report that Nigerian production will drop, right? Unless the question you ask, my board will not allow me to drop production. Right? Let's call it that way, right? Neither will be management team. So we will work assiduously to ensure that that Woodmark statement is not what we see, right? That said, we need to attract a lot of financing, a lot of funding. What we're doing now is we're engaging with all the parties, all the operators, to ensure that we find ways to further attract additional funds.
The board also disclosed that stakeholder engagement have already commenced to ensure alignment on strategic priorities. To monitor implementation and ensure sustained momentum, bi-weekly meetings have been instituted to track progress and address emerging challenges. Okpeyemi Owosheni, TV360 News, Lagos.
Right now, we'll go on a short break and be back with stock market updates. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, it's the final trading day of the week and the Nigerian equities market closed in negative territory, declining by 0.14%, bringing the market capitalization to 68.5 trillion naira. In total, 126 equities listed on the NGX participated in trading, with 30 gainers and 22 losers. On the losing side, Northern Nigerian Flour Mills recorded the highest loss, with a 9.9% drop to close at 118 naira 70 kobo per share, and was followed closely by Transcorp Hotels, as you can see. Now, at the close of trading on Friday, over 637 million shares were exchanged in 15,927 deals, amounting to a market value exceeding 18 billion naira. Now, when this is compared to the previous trading day, which is Thursday, May 22nd, this represents a 15% decline in volume and a 39% drop in the number of deals. Now, on the global front, major stock indices and the US dollar declined following fresh trade threats by former President Donald Trump. He proposed a 50% tariff on European Union's imports starting June 1st and hinted a 25% tariff on Apple iPhones manufactured outside the US. Now, as a result, two of our tracked global indices, the UK's FTSE and the US Dow Jones, ended in negative territory, while their counterpart, the Japan's Nikkei, defied the trend and closed in the positive territory. Now, in the foreign exchange market, on the black market, the US dollar is currently trading at 1,620 naira, and the British pound at 2,050 naira, and the euro at 1,720 naira, still on the black market. That's it on both business and stock market updates. Back to you, Joy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Victoria. And now on the foreign scene, the United States President Donald Trump has announced that he is recommending a 50% tariff on all goods imported from the European Union, signaling a sharp escalation in his ongoing trade dispute with the bloc. The proposed move comes on the heels of an existing 20% blanket tariff imposed on all U.S. exports to the EU during his earlier tenure. Trump also issued a warning to American tech companies, threatening to slap a 25% import tariff on iPhones not manufactured within the United States. And finally, on sports, the Cycling Federation of Nigeria has suspended Edo State coach Jackson Iyobosa-Idobo from further participation in the 2025 National Sports Festival over unruly conduct. In a suspension letter signed by CFN Secretary General Joel Akinlua, Coach Edobo was barred from attending any cycling competitions or visiting the cycling venue. According to the letter, Edobo allegedly threatened to kill the invited commissaire Osari Tinemuze and accused him of influencing the outcome of the male team pursuit event. And that's it on our bulletin. Many thanks for watching. I am Joy Ucheje. See you next time.